So you bring a unique offering to the space, if you could talk a bit about that.
Sure. The offering itself has several facets, actually. It's a project-oriented application that has 8 modules within it. What is a common thread throughout those modules is that we're striving to provide all the different ways people have to work together in producing video, whether working together is very organizational, just logistical, setting a schedule, or more content-oriented and strategic, accessing and communicating about footage or script, different content at different stages. We want one environment instead of having to go to different places or go through different methodologies for the different aspects of video production as a kind of project, one environment for all the different ways people have to work together in getting these things made the right way at the best efficiency.
How did you come to this as an entrepreneur, as a from a software development perspective, but also from a business perspective? How did was it the big idea?
Right.
Where did Market 7 come from?
So it was a classic scenario of me being in a user position and feeling some pain that I thought could be alleviated. So 5 years or so ago, in my own corporate marketing efforts, I was more frequently commissioning video production for podcasters, show at trade show booths, and the process of developing video was really in stark contrast and really much more friction-filled than a lot of other collaborations we did. People working together on building documents or presentations or websites or even computer code. There's more along the lines of like the track to show changes motif we're used to in word processing, where I can see who provided what feedback, when, in what order, where within the content did it pertain to, and really get the context on someone's communications. Whereas in the video production projects I was part of, the assembly of content was completely independent from the content. The assembly of communications about the content was completely separated from the content itself, so that we'd have like DVDs spread around with saying, what do you think of this footage? And then it would go to email from there, or people stopping by each other's desks, and it was hard to both aggregate all that feedback as well as to see how it fit with the content itself. So that's something I started to look at, and that became one of several proof points for a theme that these video production projects tend to involve people who often haven't worked together before, getting thrown together for a project. For some of these people it's very exotic because they don't understand the medium and craft of building video. For other people it's exotic because they don't know the content the video is about. The people who are more practitioners in video might not know what's the organization that has to approve this thing and how do things get done within that organization, what's the subject matter of this video. So when you have this kind of diverse group where different people have different strengths and different blind spots, provide an environment in which everyone can understand each other and work together effectively.
How did you get to this space and launch this company?
So I've been fascinated with technology entrepreneurship for a long time, and started working kind of as an agent to that investment banker. Actually spent some time as an analyst and journalist, and then ultimately as a venture capitalist investing directly in startups. And at some point decided I wanted to work on building a startup, and the startup I got involved in building is a company called Big Band Networks. It provides routers for high-end video services. It's been part of the onset of popularity of high-definition television, video on demand, the local targeting of television advertisements, and I learned a lot about video technologies and video business models there, and really developed even more of a commitment to building startups from the inside as opposed to some of the agency roles I'd had before. And it was actually in my marketing role at Big Band that I was commissioning video production and felt like aspects of how it happens, our own promotional video about ourselves for our podcast or our trade shows, and feeling like, the process of building video could be done better. And so that led me to start exploring starting something new.
And how's the customer base? How's that, just the general growth in that market?
The customer base is really encouraging in who it is and what types of organizations it is. It's really validated the proposition that the tools that we bring to bear for better video production extend across practically any type of video production, whether that's kind of the high-end and most traditional type like advertising, movies, and TV production, or some of what may be more lower end in terms of like things down to like one-man independent contractor shops, or emerging spaces of video that's produced for going on to the web or going to handheld devices and the like. So some of the announced customers include, like among corporate entities, a video production team within Google that's getting out literally hundreds of projects a quarter, using our software in part to share and shape and approve of the content. More entrepreneurial corporations like Solar City. Some of the agencies we work with include like major post-production houses like Pixel Core, Bars and Tone in San Francisco, and a number of other clients that include major advertising agencies, major motion picture studios, and other more vertical plays, for example, like in educational curriculum development.
What's been the most challenging for you in terms of this business venture, and on the opposite side, what's kind of been more surprising for you?
Well, I can give you an integrated answer to that. I mean, we started the company in the middle of 2007, so we're in a different economic environment than we were at that moment. Roughly when we turned about a year old and started to get commercial, the market got to be a tougher one to sell to, and we had to be more austere in managing our own resources and expenses. And probably the most surprising thing is in a world in which one has to economize, like there's so many great technologies available to take advantage of. Our development itself is really rapid because there's all these meta tools that pull together, kind of pre-constructed groups of code to achieve things that we want to accomplish, and we can, host and scale up through a service provider instead of having to get a hold of and manage and pay the capital expenses for having, our own bank of resources for pushing our service out. So, as a small company, one can be, very, responsive and effective in fulfilling market needs and really, growing something.